always see Steph get off to a start like that. Was that kind of built in? Were you kind of setting it up for him to kind of be aggressive offensively at the start?
Not really, but I think this year he's been a little more aggressive in the first quarters in general. Just probably because the team is built a little differently, and so I think he feels like it's okay for him to get going right away. This team can use that, so he just kind of sees what the game is offering and does whatever he needs to do.
And speaking of Steph, in that second quarter, he had a good closeout. It forced like a jump ball, and he got really hype. And then in the third quarter, jumped passing lane, gets a steal. A couple possessions later, draws a charge. When he's making plays on that side of the ball, do you think it affects him in a way that really gets everybody going?
Yeah, I think Steph takes a lot of pride in making plays like that. Steals or drawing a charge, making a good defensive play. That definitely gets him going and gets our team going too.
Why do you think Clay connects with Trace so often?
I think because Trace is such a good finisher, and when Clay comes off pin downs, people they're scared. They're gonna put two on the ball, and he just knows that if Trace, after he sets the screen, if he slips and gets to the rim, he knows Trace is going to finish, and they've just had a great connection all year on that action.
You talked pregame about how Chris will kind of slide into that unit. I mean, do you view Trace as kind of an ideal center in that sense, where Clay's connecting with him? Chris theoretically could pick. I mean, Trace had obviously a huge night tonight. Like, do you see him as the center in that unit?
Yeah, because he gives Chris a lob threat. So you can see what that unit might look like, and so it'll be great to get Chris back and kind of put that group together and see how they do.
Andrew's scored, I think, double digits in the last 7 games. We've talked a lot about how Draymond coming back has impacted him and the way that Andrew, Draymond, and Jonathan have played together. But aside from that, just what have you observed over Andrew and the development of his season, but really these past couple of weeks that have allowed him to resemble a little bit more of who he was, especially that championship year?
Yeah, he just looks more comfortable. He's attacking the rim more, and I think the way we're playing is, and the lineup that he starts the game with just gives him more space to attack, and he's looked really good now for a while. Physically, I just think he looks much better than he did early in the season, but I think the way our team has evolved and the lineups that we're playing kind of feeds into everything that he does well, and he's playing at a high level, playing unselfishly, just making the simple play, and I love how Wiggs is playing right now.
Steve, Steph seems like he's maintaining his high volume of scoring without very many free throws. How difficult is that actually to put up 30, 34 with 2 free throws, and do you think it's sustainable?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't used to get fouled either, and I would put up my 6, and I was like, I don't know how I did it either. I barely got to the line, and no, I just think that he's the most skilled player I think I've ever seen, and so this is a league where the game is geared towards the offensive player, as we know, and so there's a lot of guys who are taking advantage of that and seeking fouls, and Steph has just never played like that. He doesn't do all that stuff. He just tries to get space because he knows when he gets space, he's going to more than likely knock down a shot. And he doesn't spend a lot of time at the line unless we have a lead and people are fouling down the stretch. But he's so good and so skilled that he finds a way anyway.
Do you want him to be more like the rest of the league? I know you.
I think what we've talked about over the years a little bit is just mixing in some pump fakes and when guys are flying into him, it's not a bad play to use a pump fake and just draw a shooting foul, get 3 free throws. On the other hand, he loves the flyby, and he takes one dribble to his left and knocks down the shot so easily. So it's not something we've spent a whole lot of time on, but there are games and playoff series where teams are playing us a certain way, and it's great for Steph and Clay to draw people off their feet and get to the line. It's a big help, but it's just never been something that they've relied on too much.
In the first half, you sat Draymond for like 11 or 12 minutes in a row, game time, and even with a lot of that with AD out there. Was that an intentional? What was going on there?
That was just because Trace was playing so well. So we had planned on bringing him earlier. I think Trace scored 13 straight points, and he was getting to the rim. And so we just the game was going well, and we started to put Draymond in, and then I think Trace scored another couple of buckets, and he came over to the huddle and he said, "Let him go," and we agreed. And we just thought, let's give Trace another couple minutes, and we did. And then Draymond came in after that.
And also, I'm sure you probably noticed in the fourth quarter, I think there was a possession where Kuminga's just at the top of the circle. Everyone kind of clears out for him, and he's directing traffic. He's literally calling for screens on the right side. Is that something you encourage? Is something you want him to do? And it did result in a basket. Is that a sign of development for this?
Yeah, he recognized what was happening. I think he pointed for Clay to come off the screen, and then Clay hit Trace for the bucket, and they called the timeout. I think that's the one you're talking about. And yes, that's a really great sign of J.K. seeing the floor, recognizing what's happening, and then making the right play to create that little 2-on-1 with Clay and Trace.
Is that set up for him to make a decision?
J.K. or no? It's really set up. Whoever has the ball, anytime we can pin down for Clay or Steph. That's great stuff for us because those guys draw so much attention. So he recognized that. J.K. did. That's what he pointed for. And then when Clay came off, he hit him, and two guys jumped out at Clay, and Clay found Trace. So that's really a big part of our offense. So it's a great sign that J.K. recognized that, and he's starting to make those plays. Thank you, guys.